Chapter 30. Technically, we escaped from police custody. We weren't supposed to leave. I was supposed to go to the Didier police station and make an official statement about what happened in that house. That was going to take all night. I'm already in shit with law enforcement for a lot of things, so one more to add to the pile won't make a difference. My phone battery is dead, but I know they can easily trace us and send the nearest police station to catch us. That's why I don't mind Mzolisi's high speed this time. When they catch up with us, it must be in Cullinan, after we've heard what the priest has to say. Every time something about this case comes up on the radio news, Mzolisi changes the station. But every station is reporting about it. He resorted to connecting his phone via Bluetooth and is now playing music from it. What we know for sure is that Duelo is still at large and the manhunt is continuing at every corner of this country. They will find him, and if they don't, I will, even if I have to spend all my life looking for him. Cullinan Police Station. Sigh. The last time I was here, I was telling lies about how my home burnt down. Muraro gave me specific instructions about what to do when I arrive here, but my phone is dead. I use Mzolisi's phone to call her and she meets us at the parking lot as arranged. We go inside the building through some back door. It's late at night and this is suspicious, but I have a police officer in my pocket, as Mzolisi pointed out. I know they released the priest the day after he was arrested. He shouldn't even be here, but Muraro said I do not need to worry about that. He'll be free when I decide he's free, she says. We walk down a long passage to a closed door. She looks at me and side-eyes Mzolisi. I don't blame her. She doesn't know him, and I have not briefed her about how he has been with me throughout this. He's coming in with me, I say. She shrugs and opens the door. Our eyes meet the moment I step in, and I feel anger building inside me immediately. I'm angry at a lot of people right now, but somehow just the sight of this priest makes me want to go off. I have this intense desire to see him suffer. It must be because he chose to protect Seipati when he should have protected us, the innocent children. Well, he's internet famous now, and that's a different type of fame, a savage type. He has brought the name of the church into disrepute, and the internet is dragging not just him, but the whole church from Madagascar to Antarctica. Mzolisi and I sit across him. Muraro remains standing. There's one table and only 3 chairs in this room. It has no windows and no cameras, and I wonder what these police bring people in here for. She's here. Tell her, Muraro says. She hasn't changed a bit since high school. I'm waiting to hear my name and surname and everything Seipati told him about me. She only told me this on the morning of the day she died, he says. The audacity to still be wearing a priest collar with all this nonsense. Told you what? About the man who was found dead in the Didier house. She sent you out of town to buy her multiple things that day. Do you remember? Yes, it was a list of oils she needed. And then she called and told me to come over. Said she had one last thing she needed to tell me. I knew it was something big if it was something she didn't want to die without telling anyone. He was really committed to her secrets. She must have been fascinating to him. I'll start from the beginning. Her husband, they never divorced, knew their son's troubles. Pedophile, not troubles, Mfundisi. Their son is a pedophile. He doesn't have any troubles. Say the word. Mzolisi. The priest doesn't say the word. The thing about Matapelo is that she always felt guilty about abandoning her son, and that made it easy for him to manipulate her. Everything he had asked her for, she would do. Otherwise, he'd remind her that he grew up motherless, and he'd cry like a baby until he got what he wanted from her. She believed she owed him, and he made sure he never let her forget that. He stops. Oh, he still calls her Matapelo. That woman was born a Seipati, and then she was the glamorous superstar, Patty with fur coats, and then she was Matapelo, the petticoat-wearing church granny. She lived. I have to give her that. Continue, Muraro says. But his father, the musician, knew exactly who their son was. He had seen something when the boy was 19. That's when he let his mother take him. Before that, he would never have allowed her to take him. He was angry at her for leaving him to raise the boy alone. He had to give up his career and move back to Kwamhlanga to raise their son. But he thought letting him be with his mother would help, so he let him go. He takes a deep breath and leans forward, resting his elbows on the table. He moved in with her just before he turned 21, after she got that house. But they were too disconnected. They didn't know each other at all, and Matapelo told me she was scared of him, that he had a very dark side. They lived together in that house for 2 years, but she said she couldn't bear it. She knew a lot of people, a lot of men from her stardom days, politicians mostly. One of them got her a job at Home Affairs. When she got there, she was able to get someone to get her son a job as a paramedic. He went for the training and he did well. He worked in Sasolburg for years. He had a woman there that he planned to marry. She already had a small child with another man. Matapelo was living her life, and her husband was getting old. They both asked him to move back to Kwamhlanga where his father was. He was going to get a transfer to the hospital there, with a better pay. They told him he could bring the woman too, and he could get married there and live in that house with their kids when they had them. He refused. In fact, he threw a tantrum and cried like a baby. Matapelo, of course, felt guilty and told him he didn't have to go anywhere. I look at Mzolisi and I see how intensely his eyes are fixed on this priest. I think he knows where the story is going. I'm just relieved he doesn't have a gun on him this time. We're listening. Muraro. Years later, there was a story in the news about their son's girlfriend's daughter going missing. The father knew immediately. He told his neighbors he was going back to Joburg to revive his career, so he packed his instruments into his car and left Kwamhlanga. He went straight to Didier, but on his way, he called Matapelo and told him he knew their son had taken the girl. Matapelo drove there too. They met at the house. The father didn't waste time confronting him and telling him he knew it was him. It got violent. Matapelo had to make a choice. So she watched as her son bludgeoned her husband to death, to a point where he wasn't recognizable. She helped him burn his fingers so his fingerprints couldn't be traced. They cut his head and buried it in the yard. She told her son to go, and then she went down to the basement to get the girl. But the girl was already dead. There were 2 others, so she took them home with her. And then she went to find the white girl she raised. She was a grown woman now. She wasn't well, and she didn't want to go back to live with other people. That white girl gave her almost all her money after she told her what happened to her mother. All she asked for was that Matapelo and the others do not sell the farm. I don't know why she didn't want that land sold. Matapelo quit her job and moved here. There's silence. I think he's done. This is where his big revelation ends. But the silence continues. And you kept quiet about this. Muraro. I swore an oath. A child died. A man died. 2 children you knew were missing were staying across the street from you. The man who abducted them was alive and you knew. He went on to abduct 2 more girls, but you kept quiet. Because of an oath. Mzolisi. I'm defeated. I have nothing left in me. Nothing except one question. Did she tell you about me? About where I came from? He shakes his head before he answers. I'm sorry, Charlotte. She didn't know. She tried to find out, but there was nothing except that picture. Even with your sister, her son never told her anything. He never confessed. She found out everything about her herself. The other girl that died, it was obvious with her. But you? Nothing. Her son never wanted to talk about what happened in that blue house and why he did what he did to you children. He knew the parents of all the children he abducted, so he must have known your mother or father too. But he never told Matapelo about them. I believe that is why she wanted you to survive so bad. It was never her plan for you to remember anything about what happened to you. But as she was dying, she started understanding that God was making her suffer and that he was not going to take her until she did right by you. That woman did nothing right by me, and he must not be here talking about God and all that when he is as psycho as all of them. What kind of faith is this? He could very well be a cult leader. She gave you the house keys and the address, and then she died. Don't you see it? God only took her after she did that. She had been seeing her death for a long time. She was ready for it, but every morning she would wake up alive until she gave you those keys. All I know about the Bible is that it starts on Genesis and ends on Revelations. Other than that, I know nothing about what's in between. I don't even own a Bible, but I know God and Satan are rivals, and that people like Sepati are on Satan's side. Satan took her, and not because she did right by me. It was because giving me those keys meant leaving behind more pain and suffering. This priest is delusional, and I'm sure if I were to dig deeper, I'd find interesting information about why he was stationed at one place for so long. Like I said, Cullinan is the best place to hide. Mzolisi, I want to go now. I don't know where I want to go, but I just want to go. The priest looks at me, his hands clasped together, and says, I'll keep praying for you, child, like I always have. I'll pray for you to be free from the anger you harbor in your heart and the... Mzolisi gets up, picks up his chair, and throws it at him. He lands on the floor, probably under the table with his face bleeding because that's where the chair landed. I can't see him, but I'm not sad about whatever injury or pain he is going through right now. Like I said, I want him to suffer. I want him to lose his long good standing in the Cullinan community, and I want him to realize he was wrong. Muraro hasn't moved an inch. She didn't even flinch at what Mzolisi just did. I want to go, now. If this door doesn't open now, I will go into a frenzy. I want to go. Muraro opens the door. I also get up to leave. I look at Muraro before I reach the door. Best friends forever, she says. Best friends forever. The words that were written on the card they gave me when my sister died. We were just kids then. And that's what kids promise each other before they figure out who they are and follow paths that suit their individuality. We're out. Where is he? I hear her ask the priest just before she closes the door behind us and locks it. Whatever it is they do to people in that room, she must do it to him 10 times more. I don't care. I kept your wines. They're behind the seat, he says. We have just joined the highway and I have not said a single word since we left the police station. We are driving back to his place in Joburg, in the middle of the night. The police will find us, obviously, but it's better they find us there. I have so many things on my mind that I want to say, but I can't. They just won't come out of my mouth. Like, I want to talk about what that priest said, all of it, but I also don't want to. Instead, I want to pass out again, now that he has mentioned the wines. I lean back and grab a bottle of wine where he's just said he put them. I take one long gulp and place the bottle between my thighs. The wine tasted like... I don't know what. It takes a few minutes before I start feeling like everything has moved from my stomach to my throat. Mzolisi, stop the car. I'm going to throw up. I'm barely out of the car when everything comes out like a flood. He hands me a bottle of water when I'm done. I think I'm fine now. We drive for about 5 minutes before I tell him to stop again because I need to throw up again. It's not as bad as the first one, but I feel dizzy now. I don't drink more water this time. For a few years now, I've been drinking like a sailor, but I never throw up. I mean, a few days ago, I downed a whole bottle of 4 Cousins, and all I woke up with was a headache, which was fixed by hot wings and 1 painkiller. I don't want to think about it, but I'm thinking about it. It must be the wine, he says. It's not the wine. Shit. Chapter 31. We had sex the day we arrived in Piet Retief. That was 4 weeks ago. I've never been pregnant before, but I know you don't start showing symptoms that soon. I've just reached a point where my body is physically reacting to everything that is happening. That's the story in my head and I'm sticking to it. I was supposed to get my period 5 days ago, but cycles can change with seasons. Yes, it's January now, the 3rd month of summer, but... Are you well? He asks. He's been asking this question a lot lately. I nod. I'm not in any physical pain, but my body is obviously tired too. Everything that's happened has been stressful mentally and emotionally, and I've been able to forge forward. But my body is not having that anymore. It's telling me I need to slow down. I don't like the way he's looking at me right now. Are you sure it's just the body? I think now is the time for you to consider getting help going forward. This is about to end, Charlie, this journey. When the media frenzy dies down and the public moves on to the next shocking news, you are going to have to focus on yourself. I think that's what's scaring you. That soon it won't be about Nhlenge and Kamo anymore, or your grandmother or the blue house. It will be about you. You are the only one amongst them that has to keep living. Why is he saying these things? I already know this. But I'm comforted by the fact that it hasn't crossed his mind that my throwing up could mean I'm pregnant. Let's just bury Kamo. I'll focus on the rest afterwards, I say. We're burying Kamo in Sasolburg today. Since the day I last saw her, and the night the police stormed into Mzolisi's place to take us back to the Didier police station because I had absconded, I've been dreading this moment. Bones. That's all she has come home as. A skeleton from a dark room under a house, to a laboratory, to a headline confirming it is really her. My sister was dug up to be tested too. I have had 3 book offers, a documentary and a movie so far. They all came through emails from people I had never heard of. I declined all of them. But they all responded insinuating, it's too soon for you to decide. We will come back later. Do you think he's sitting somewhere, watching everything in the news, laughing at us? He looks at me briefly before he answers. He's definitely not sitting comfortably somewhere, and he's not laughing. He knows it's over for him, that it's only a matter of time before he starts paying for what he did. I hope he's right, because that man has gotten away with way too much in his life. I wish he was younger, so he could suffer his punishment for longer. When he finally goes to prison, I know his fellow prisoners will deal with him accordingly. They may be criminals, but they are fathers, brothers, and sons too. Plus, I hear prisoners are not nice to pedophiles. Even murderers are more acceptable to them. He's been on the run for a full 3 weeks, and for a man like him, that's long enough to do the worst. They'll find him, he says. I can't count how many times he has said this to me in the past 3 weeks. I still have doubts. This one is a big funeral. There are police everywhere, and I don't know if they think Duelo might show up, or if they are here for the important people who have come with condolences and cameras. A minister of this, and an MEC for that. They tried to rope me into this frenzy, but Mzolisi has done a great job of being my shield. Moraro too. She has kept the true story about the man found dead in the blue house between us. I don't know what happened after we left her with the priest, but she's been scarce lately. I've called her a few times, but she didn't answer any of my calls. Ntabiseng said we should come sit at the front with her and the family when we arrive. I wasn't sure about it because I don't want any attention on me, but she sounded like she needed me there. There were 2 chairs reserved for us at the front in this fully packed tent. Pumi and her brother are here too. Both families met for the first time when the DNA tests were being done on the remains. I greet and we sit. On the cover of the funeral program is Gamu's photograph. She looks to be at the same age I met her. Her hair is plaited in cornrows and she's striking a cute pose, smiling brightly in a navy t-shirt written Little Flowers Creche. The photograph is one of those annual school photo day ones. In front of us is a tiny white coffin with a Powerpuff Girls blanket over it. I can't believe she's in there. I know it's just bones in that coffin, but Gamu will never be just bones. Her name will live forever. Mzolisi catches me smiling and raises his eyebrows at me. I shake my head and tell him it's nothing, but I'm lying. I've just pictured Gamu opening that coffin and sitting up to stick her tongue out at me and laughing before closing it again. It's something she would do. I miss her. The funeral program has 8 speakers, including her uncle, her teacher Miss Sindane, some politician, some activist, and other people I know for sure knew nothing about her. Her sister's name is in there too. She will recite a poem because maybe that's what she thinks she has to do. Something to acknowledge a sister she never met. I don't expect her to feel any pain or grief. If she does, it'll be for her mother and to mourn the life she had before I walked into her home that evening. Mzolisi politely declined on my behalf when they asked me to be one of the speakers. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to be at this funeral. I already said my goodbyes to Gamo in that house. Pinky is in the car. I haven't gotten the courage to throw her away yet. The service is starting. I don't think I'll ever be able to look at any priest the same way again. The 3rd speaker comes on, Miss Sindane. Kamohelo was a happy child. She talked a lot. She was 4 and every day she would pester me about wanting to go to big school. I'd tell her it was going to take another 2 years, that she was stuck with me for another year before she could go to preschool and then big school. She'd frown at me and say, "But Miss Sindane, I can write and I can draw already." I'd say to her, "Yes, because you're a very smart girl and a good girl, but you're only 4 years old." She had this specific frown. I smile because I know that frown very well. Mzolisi catches me smiling again, and he smiles with me. She continues. Kamo was a brilliant child, intelligent beyond her age, and I knew she was going to grow up to become something big, even though I wasn't sure what it is she was going to do when she grew up. I knew it would be something that would stamp her name permanently into history. I never forgot her. I kept 3 of her drawings hanging on the wall of my class for 8 years after she disappeared. I took them with me after I qualified to be a high school teacher and had to leave Little Flowers. I still have them. She's getting emotional. I understand. I am too. Lastly, Kamu's drawings were not so good. She was good with colors and everything, but not the drawing part. You could still see what she was trying to draw though. She loved drawing animals, but she had never been to a zoo. She once drew a horse with horns and she was so excited to show it to me. I looked at it and said to her, "Good girl." And today, as what remains of her lies in this coffin, I have only 3 words for her. Good girl, Kamu. I did not come here to cry, but that's what I'm doing. Me and every person sitting in this front row. Even Mzolisi has shed a tear. I guess he's forgiven her for the cold fronts. The speeches that follow are a blur to me. I stare at the coffin in front of me more than I glance at the people speaking at the podium. Not even the activist who came on stage with a group of people wearing t-shirts with Kamu's face on them. Hers was not a speech about the little dead girl. Her wrath was directed at the police and the government for their failure to catch the man who killed her. How long must this go on? How long must women and children live in constant fear in this country because law enforcement keeps failing us? Kamohelo would not be dead if the police had looked deeper. Why was her stepfather never questioned? We know he was friends with the police in Carolina, and those police must be held accountable for letting him escape again. She went on to say other things, but my mind had already drifted back to the coffin, to the Powerpuff Girls blanket, and I was remembering that I never fixed the TV. That TV cannot be fixed. I doubt there's anyone still alive that can fix it. Charlotte. It's Ntabiseng whispering. There's a woman sitting between me and her. I think it's her brother's wife. She leans over, her whole upper body almost on the woman's lap. I'd like you to come to the cemetery with us. Only family would go. I'd like the 2 of you to be there as well. She whispers. I say yes and pass the message to Mzolisi. He nods. I'm glad they decided to not have all these people filling this tent at the cemetery with them. Unlike in Cullinan, where the cemetery is right behind the church where everyone's burial service is held, whether they went to church and paid tithes or not, because in every family, someone is a devoted church member, and the church will bury their family member, whether they were a community thug or a crackhead. Here, we have to drive behind the hearse for almost 20 minutes before we reach the cemetery. I'm glad it's just 4 cars. Ntabiseng is on the front seat of the hearse with a blanket covering her shoulders. Her daughter, Amo, is in the 12-seater with her uncle's family, and that makes me happy. I know this part is not my duty, that I'm going to have to leave these people alone after this, but I desperately want them to reconcile and be a close family. I want Amo to be as close to her cousins as she could be, and I want Ntabiseng and her brother to remember who they were before Duelo came along, and for them to go back to that. The 3rd car is ours, and the 4th one is carrying the priest and other people, his assistants, I think. Or are they called deacons? The family is Methodist. Mzolisi looks at me with disapproval when I pull Pinky out of the car boot. Charlie, he says, looking defeated. She loved Pinky. Yes, she did, in that house, because she had no one else. Can you please let her go in peace, with nothing from that house? Allow her to leave all that behind, including you. I know he's right, but... Never mind. Even I don't know why I brought Pinky here. I throw her back in the boot, but I know Mzolisi would rather I throw her in the bush. The grave is already dug out, and the priest doesn't take long. Church songs are sung, and the coffin goes down. They throw the ritual handful of soil into the grave. Her mother, uncle, sister, 3 cousins, and her uncle's wife. That's the family, all of it. The uncle and his 2 sons are the first to shovel the soil into the grave before the dusty men, whom I know are the grave diggers, come over to help. We're standing meters away, watching. Her uncle will have to stick the cross with her name over the grave when the soil is above level. This is it. She's 6 feet under now. Free. I have to go talk to her, I tell Mzolisi before I leave his side. She must have been in the car that had the priest and the 2 others. Miss Sindane, I call out to her. She looks old enough to be my mother. She looks at me and smiles, but it's a pitiful smile, a kind of sad smile. She talked about you all the time, every day. She taught me how to write and draw, I say and laugh, because the drawings really were horrible, like she said. But I didn't know that then. I had never been to school and I knew nothing. I didn't even know how to hold a pen. She always said good girl to me when I wrote something down. She started with teaching me colors. She taught me how to draw a dog, and when she told me to color it, I used the purple crayon. She shrugged and said, "Some dogs are purple." After that, she taught me syllables. It took a while. She taught me letters after that. Sometimes she got frustrated with me, but she'd get over it, and we'd start over. She hasn't said anything, but I'm not bothered by that. I came to talk to her because I wanted to know she wasn't just a teacher to Kamo. She was so close. I should have looked for her, she says. I look at her and place my hand on her shoulder. I was locked in the same room with her, and I couldn't save her. I know Kamo more than anyone in this life. She wouldn't want you feeling like this. You were a big part of her life, and that's enough. And besides, even if you found her, she would not have been the same Kamo you knew. Most times I wish I had died too. The grave is filled and the cross is being erected on top of it. Mzolisi is rushing towards us. I'm 27 years old. She would have been 27 too. After this, I'm going to live my life to the fullest. I'll put everything that happened in the past behind me and live. She smiles and looks at me. Good girl, she says. Mzolisi has reached us. We have to go, he says, grabbing my hand. I know that look. Something has happened. I don't even get a chance to say goodbye to Ntabiseng. He leads me straight to his car and we drive off. I'm waiting for him to tell me why we've just left the graveyard in such a hurry. And then? I eventually ask him when he doesn't offer the information. They found Duelo, he says. What? Where? When? He was on his way to the Botswana border and now he's in a car, a stolen one, currently on a high-speed chase with the police on the N4 highway, he says. A high-speed chase? I wouldn't put anything past Duelo, but he must be crazy to think he can escape the police on the highway. Mzolisi keeps driving, and I don't ask further questions, although I would like to know where we're going. Like, are we going to join the high-speed chase with his double pipe and chase Duelo ourselves? I hear his phone ringing in his pocket, but he doesn't take it out until it rings for the 4th time. I swear I saw "police girl" flashing on the screen before he answered it. All he says is, okay, and hangs up. The only female officer we know is my friend, Mularo, and I know he has this habit of not calling my friends by their real names. There was Big Forehead and Gay Guy. But did he really have to save Muraro on his phone as police girl? What's going on, Mzolisi? He takes a deep breath. The car rolled over. He's burning inside it. They can't save him. What? No, they can't let him die. They have to save him. He has to answer for his sins. He can't just die a quick death. That's an easy way out. I take out my phone and call Muraro. She doesn't answer. The news on the radio come on. It's 3 p.m. He doesn't change the station this time. Notorious criminal Duelo Mdlalose has been found. The rapist and murderer tried to flee, but during the police chase, the car he was driving had an accident. We have received information that it has caught fire and he is currently trapped inside it. Police say there is nothing they can do to save him. That is what the newsreader says. I flip to another channel, and another, and another. They're all reporting the same thing. I check my phone. Social media and the digital publications are saying the same thing. There's even a picture of a burning car that's trending. He's dead. He says yes. Muraro told you. I know that's her you have saved as police girl on your phone. Yes, he says. That's all he says. I didn't want him to die. Not yet. Chapter 32. I still haven't asked him where we're going, but we stop at a petrol garage in Vereeniging. I'm thinking we're getting water or some energy drinks, but no. He says we're switching cars. Still, I don't ask any questions. My mind is stuck on the fact that Duelo is dead, and he died without ever admitting what he did, without telling me the truth about myself. I got nothing, not even my real name. Mzolisi has been right all along. This is about to get harder. I've freed all his victims, except myself. We switch into some old van with a plumbing company branding on the sides. It smells like unhygienic men, and its seats are dirty. We drive out of the garage, leaving Mzolisi's car parked there. His phone hasn't rang again, so I know Muraro has not updated him about what's happening. I know he's shocked and wondering why I have not asked what this is all about. He deserved to die the way he did, Charlie. He burned to death. Muraro and her colleagues were the ones chasing him. She told me they could have gotten him out of the car alive, but they decided to stand and watch, to listen to him screaming and begging until his head burst. She took a video for you. I raised my eyebrows at him. We've been communicating since that night at her police station. She said when we left she could see how tired you were, mentally and emotionally. She asked me to find things to distract you with while she did all she could to find Duelo. I think she's been doing a lot of things that put her job in jeopardy, including doing work in places that are out of her jurisdiction. So that explains why she was the one chasing him from the Botswana border. It's not even in the province she's stationed at. I did say 3 weeks was long enough for Duelo to hatch a plan. If he had crossed to Botswana, he would have lived there as a free man for the rest of his life. South Africa does not extradite criminals to Botswana because they still hang people there, so Botswana doesn't send South African criminals back too. Where and how did he get a car? Where has he been the whole 3 weeks? He had to eat and sleep somewhere and buy stuff. Did people not recognize him at all? At shops, wherever he slept, and. His face is literally everywhere. Stop thinking about him, Charlie. He's being unrealistic now. The man whom my whole life has revolved around for almost 3 months now has just died, without me ever getting a chance to get my revenge. How can I stop thinking about him? He's dead, Mzolisi. Yes, and you are alive. You've outlived him, and I know that was never his plan. Well, that still doesn't mean I won. My mind wanders off to Sepati. She hated me. That she still took care of her son and went to visit him and his family means exactly that. She didn't take us and raise us because she felt bad about what her son did. She hated those 2 girls too, because I know when she walked into her son's house in Carolina, she knew there was something under that kist. It didn't look very different from the wooden shelf in the Didier house. She was the type that would kill to protect the demon she gave birth to. She killed her husband and my sister. We must try and fix Gamo's TV, just for the fun of it. I'm sure we can still find some old guy who can fix it. I know what he's doing. He's trying to shift my mind to Gamo because he knows talking about her makes me happy, most times. And now I realize that he initiated a lot of conversations about her in the time we were waiting for DNA tests. That was the distraction. No, we're not fixing that TV. It's only when I see the farm store that I realize we're in Didier. We use the same route we've used every time, but my mind was so occupied with Duelo dying that I didn't even notice until now. We're going to the house. He doesn't answer me. We are going to the house. What are we going to the house for, Mzolisi? To burn Pinky, he says. We drove all the way here to burn a teddy bear with one ear. I know Pinky is more than just that, but really? The blue house is no longer a crime scene. The police gave me back the keys after they were done with whatever they needed to do. They even removed the red tape they had all over the fence. which was nice because they never do that. You have to remove it yourself. The pictures of this house are literally everywhere on the internet. It even has names and memes and jokes created about it. None of those things anger or offend me. The people doing them are just trying to get attention and likes and fame, because their lives are empty. We have to go inside. The last time I was here, I swore to myself that I was never going to set foot in this house again. Trust me, he says. I do trust him. The stupid van is parked on the yard, and I still don't know why we had to abandon a luxury car and drive here in it. We walk in. Everything is still upside down. They removed their red tape outside, but didn't bother to put everything back the way it was inside this house. Are we here to dig up Ben Blalos's head from the yard? That's the first thing I think about, because we left Pinky in his boot, so we're obviously not here to burn her. We'll do that later, someone says. I turn around and I see Moraro. It's just her, and she's not even in her police uniform. She's wearing gym tights and a vest. She's the last person I expected to find here. Aren't you supposed to be... She cuts me off before I finish. Come with me. The trapdoor is open, and she's standing over it. She tells me we're going down there. I never want to go down there again. Charlotte, you will never be able to move on with your life if you don't go down there. You have to leave this whole thing behind, and you have to leave from that room. I look at Mzolisi. He agrees with her. The last time I was down there was the day he found me. I ask him to come with me, so we take the stairs down. We go down the dark passage, and Moraro opens the door, but they don't come in with me. And there, at the corner... Don't worry, he's harmless in here, Moraro says, before she closes the door. She doesn't lock it though, and I hear their footsteps disappearing down the passage. I don't know how this is happening. How is he here? He's supposed to be dead. He looks unharmed. I don't know where to start or what to say. The room is empty now. All the clutter and musical instruments are gone. It's as empty as it was when it was just the three of us trapped in here. There are no drawings on the wall either. I'm not scared, and that's not because his ankle is cuffed, and there is a long big chain connecting it to the wall. I'm feeling a lot of things, but fear is not one of them. I'm silent. He's silent. We stay like that for a while until I look on my side from where I'm sitting and see the three names on the floor. Sissy, Girlie, Kamo. Nobody loves you. No one has ever loved you. You're a scrawny, ugly man with a weirdly shaped head. Your mother didn't love you. That's why she abandoned you. Your father resented you. Ntabi Singh didn't love you. She never has. You were just this guy with a stable job that promised to marry her, so she had to compromise because the father of her first child wasn't around. She only got with you because she wanted a stable home for her daughter, and she knew you were the right man because no other woman was going to threaten your relationship. No woman wanted you. Even she didn't want you, but she had to settle. You know, her friends laughed at her for being with you. She left Sasselberg with you not because it reminded her of her daughter, but because everyone there would have laughed at her for actually marrying you. I know he's angry. I can feel it. I remember it. I didn't have to look at him to know. I remember how his anger felt. What are you going to do now? Cry like a little baby and make your mother do whatever you want? That old whore is dead. I buried her. Me. I threw soil in her grave. She'll never even get a tombstone. In fact, I'll remove the cross with her name on it. Shame. You couldn't even bury her. That must have been hard. You loved your mommy. I know that. You longed for her, but she didn't want you. She snatched you off her breast and went to breastfeed another child. She nurtured her and took care of her like she was her own. The aim is to be as hurtful as I can be. Most of the things I've said to him are not the truth, but I know they are what he has always believed about himself. So I'm going to keep drumming them in his head to torture him. Amohelang is not your child. You can't have children. Your wife got pregnant by another man just to protect your ego. She told me this herself. This is also not true, but I can't help myself. She looks nothing like you. Also, she hates you now. She's glad you're dead. Obviously you're not, but everyone thinks you are, so the whole country is happy out there. I hear the chain rattling and almost get on my feet when he approaches, but he can't reach me because the chain is not long enough to get to where I am. That's my daughter. Don't talk about my daughter, you little bitch, he shouts. Great. Now I have him exactly where I want him. She's not your daughter. You don't have a daughter, you loser freak. You have nobody. You have nothing. Do you remember the bucket you used to put there? I ask, pointing at the exact spot he's chained to. We didn't just pee and shit in it. We threw up in it too. At every thought of your face, each of us would be nauseous. We never talked about you in here. You did not exist to us until you appeared. We did not care about you and what you were doing to us. We felt sorry for you. We were sad for you. You never had any power over us. We all saw you as a disgusting coward loser who preyed on children because the world didn't want you. Nobody has ever wanted you, Duelo Mhlalose. You are nothing. You've always been nothing. The chain rattles again, but he doesn't bother trying to charge at me this time. You didn't kill Kamo. She died because she was already sick when you kidnapped her. She was never going to live beyond the age of 5. Mhlengi didn't die because of what you did to her. She died when she wanted to die. I don't care how many lies I've told, and I'm going to continue telling. The aim is to strip him of the power he thinks he has. And me, look at me. I'm here. And I found your dumbass. I had a happy life. The love that your mother should have given to you, she gave to me. All the things she should have done for you, she did for me. You thought she took us and hid us to protect you, right? No, that's not why. She did it to protect herself. She was not going to let anyone find out that she gave birth to trash. Your mother was once a superstar. She wanted to keep that clean image of herself all her life. It was never about you. She helped you kill your father because she was going to get money out of it, not because she chose you over him. Nobody, not even your own mother, could choose you over anything. You are worth nothing. I see him slowly changing his sitting position into a fetal position. I remember how Kamo and I used to curl ourselves up like that every time he brought us back into this room. I'm happy with myself so far. Seeing him like this makes me happy. I forgot you, you know. You did not exist to me for more than 20 years. I forgot everything about what you did to me until your mother died and I had to come back to this house. She made me, you know. She gave me the keys and the address on the night she died. She did that because she wanted me to uncover the truth. And you know what? I did. But I didn't break into pieces and end up institutionalized somewhere. I came after you, and I found you, and I took Kamo and Mhlengi home, and I broke your little happy family. It's gone. He raises his face when I mention his family. Clearly he believed he was living his happily ever after in Carolina. A perfect family upstairs, while he was still fulfilling his dark desires under the same house. What do you want? An apology? You'll never get it from me. I should have killed you. He needs to calm down. I roll my eyes at him and laugh. I laugh hard and long at him. Fish mango. I found out that's what the other kids used to call him growing up, because of the shape of his head. You did not kill anyone. You're not capable of killing anyone. You couldn't even kill Moses, your best friend, by the way. He's home now, with his wife and children. And you? You're here. You have no power over anyone, Fish Mango. Your father? Well, your mother was going to kill him anyway, but she made you do it for her. And come to think of it, your father resented you, yes, but he was the only one who had time for you, and that must have been hard for the poor man. It must be this room, because I have never in my life been so committed to hurting someone with just words. But this is not just anyone. This is the man who deserves every dark side of me. I'll never tell you who you really are. I know that's what you're here for. You're never going to get it, he says. I see he's sitting up straight now. He looks like he has gained his evil strength back. Okay, I'm good with that. No, I don't want that from you. I found Moses, I found Mhlengi, I found Kamo, and I found you. I'll find myself, but you... I say and shake my head, smiling. He laughs and says, no, you won't. I feel a flash of anger overcoming me, but I won't show it to him. It doesn't matter. I have a good life, a better life ahead of me. Ntabiseng and I are close now. She's been very supportive. Amohelang admires me. She asked a lot of questions, you know, and I've been honest with her, telling her everything about what you are. But 2 days ago, she told me she doesn't want to hear anything about you anymore. She said you were dead to her. And that's okay, because she's not even your child. I advised Ntabiseng to tell her the truth about who her real father is, and she will, so she'll be fine. She's only 17, and she already knows the man. You've been friends with him for years, so she'll be good. She'll forget you. You don't have a child. He's mad again. That's why the chain has just started rattling. It's such a familiar sound. I have a child, you dumb little bitch. Your mother was a dumb whore like you. And of all the women in the world, I got her pregnant. All it took was 200 rand for her to give you to me. You are my child. He's lying. That can't be true. He's lying because that's what he does. He lies about everything. I tried, you know, when you were a baby. I tried to take you from her and send you off to live with my mother. But your mother had been swallowed by Joburg, and even in that state, she wouldn't let you go. She kept moving from place to place, from one dingy building to another, with you, a baby. She was into many things, but by the time I found you, she was doing both drugs and prostitution. I offered her 200 rand, and she gladly handed you over to me. She sold you for 200 rand. But in her defense, she really thought I was going to give you to my mother to raise. He's lying. That's what I need to believe. He's just blurted this out in a fit of rage, and the look in his eyes now tells me he's regretting it. I know that things said in a fit of rage are always the most true. I know because I too am most honest when I'm angry. The most infuriating part of this is that I believe him. I'm the one sitting in a fetal position now, and I'm quiet. I'm quiet for a long time. I can't think straight. Things are coming in and out of my mind. Different things. Some that have nothing to do with what is happening now. Some are outside this room. So many thoughts, all aggressively intrusive. I want them to stop. Now. It takes a while and a lot of breathing through my nose and out my mouth. He's been quiet too, and I know why. It was never his plan to tell me. He wanted me to live in limbo all my life. That was the only power he had left. My mind is clear now, so I stand up and walk out the door, down the passage and up the stairs. I find Muraro and Mzolisi sitting on the floor in the passage, not far from the trapdoor. They look at me in some kind of way when I emerge. I need to go to the shops. That's the first thing I say. Mzolisi gets up first. I want to go with Muraro, Mzolisi. Can you stay here? I don't think he's happy about that, but he doesn't say no, so Muraro and I leave in the van. On the way, I don't ask her about what happened and how Duelo ended up in the blue house. In fact, we don't talk much because she too doesn't ask me about what happened in that basement. We drive all the way to Vereeniging, and I fill up 2 trolleys with cement at a hardware store. She doesn't ask anything. I ask the staff if there's a big box somewhere in the back they can give to me. They do. Next, we go to the supermarket and I buy 10 5-liter bottles of water, many loaves of bread, juices in boxes, some cheese and a lot of fruit. And then on our way back, in true De Deer culture, we stop at the farm store. I buy a whole box of pies, 15 to be exact. Funny enough, it's the woman I saw the first time I arrived in this town that is working at the counter today. "Oh, child," she says. She must not. We pay for the pies and leave the store. I do look at the spot where Jumanji used to sit as we walk back to the car. Everything is different now. I want to say I don't blame the people of this town for how they treated me, but deep down, I do. What are we going to do with all this food, Charlotte? We're not staying in the house for that long. I just wanted you to have a one-on-one conversation with him. After that, I'll come clean to my bosses about what happened. All of it. Come clean? We are past that. So you pulled him out of the burning car? She shakes her head. The car did crash and roll over, but it threw him out as it was rolling, and my colleagues and I grabbed him and put him in my squad car. By the time the car caught fire, it was empty. I told them I needed to take him somewhere first, that I was going to bring him back to the station after. I want to tell her, but I also don't want to. It won't make any difference anyway. I will do what I will do, and neither she, nor Mzolisi, nor anyone in this world can stop me. And if you don't come clean, and don't bring him back to the station... She looks at me, and I understand the look on her face. Killing him won't get you any justice, Charlotte. He'll be dead, gone, free. He has to go to jail, and the world must know what he is. Not just for you, but for all 5 of you. 5. 5 children. And what he gets are orange overalls and free meals until the day he dies. He's already in his 50s. Yes, he will get a life sentence, but he could be out in 25 years because of age. Besides, I know he'll find a way to survive in jail. He's built different. So your colleagues are waiting somewhere for you to come back with him. Only 2 of them know I have him here. They wanted to throw him back in the car so he could burn to death, but I said I needed him alive. I see. You trust these 2 colleagues. I'm a cop, Charlotte. We are each other's shields. We stick with each other. We protect each other no matter what. That answer is all I needed to hear. I know she knows my plan. She just doesn't know how it will be executed yet. I have not and will not tell her about the last thing he said to me before I left that room. With Mzolisi, I might fold eventually and tell him, but that won't be today. Everything, I say. So they help me carry everything down the dark room. Mzolisi goes up and down twice to get all the water. I don't want him to come inside the room and see him there, because I know he might lose it and strangle the damn man to death. I don't want it to be that quick and easy. I don't place the box of food next to him. I scatter its contents on the floor. The pies are scattered on the floor too, and then I place all the water bottles within his reach, except one that I place at the far corner. I place the metal bucket that I also bought at the hardware store right next to him. You will piss and shit there, I say, pointing at the bucket. This is your food. I think it's enough. Some you'll be able to reach, the rest, well, I say and shrug. I put some of it in places that I know the chain is not long enough to reach, so that in his final days he will be staring at what could have kept him alive longer, but cannot reach it. This should last you for weeks. The pies will go off in a couple of days, so crawl to them faster. Drag yourself to them like a chained dog. He knows exactly what I'm doing. You can't do this. I can. You're already dead, remember? And even if you weren't, nobody was going to look for you. Because nobody loves you. Nobody ever has, Mango Head. I leave the room and close the door behind me. Sinotile. Snotile, please, he screams. He can keep it. The name, he can keep it. I don't want it. I don't care about it anymore. I wrap the chain around the handle and lock the padlock. It'll take a while for him to die in there. I know he can hear my footsteps going down the passage, and I want them to be the last thing he remembers. I find Muraro and Mzolisi sitting on the floor next to the trapdoor again. I'm done, I say. They've already offloaded all the cement bags from the car. I didn't communicate my whole plan with them, but clearly they've figured it out. We spent an hour opening and pouring all the cement bags down the trapdoor. There's still no running water in this house. Otherwise, we would have poured water over it to make it hard. This is still going to work, though. We close the trapdoor and drag the wooden shelf over it. Muraro has to go. She's already spoken to her 2 colleagues about not coming back with the man they caught, but her boss's boss is raising hell about her behavior. She finds it funny. I'm used to it. I didn't become a cop to sit around in a police station and follow rules from someone sitting in some air-conditioned corner office. She says, hugs me, and leaves. Now I'm sure as ever this is the last time I will ever set foot in this house. I don't know. Maybe Duelo will become a ghost too. And you know what? I'm not going to sell the house. Nobody will ever come here to get him out. We go back to our raggedy van and I finally ask Mzolisi why. The police are still tracking my car's every move, he says. Oh well. How expensive is your car anyway? Very expensive. I told you, it's a BMW M5 twin turbo. Shame, he's so attached to that car. Well, you're going to have to downgrade to 0 turbo because we're having a baby and we're both unemployed. He swerves this damn van out the road and stops, eyes wide and mouth open. You're pregnant. I am. I find myself rubbing my belly and hoping that whatever this baby is, a boy or a girl, its dominant genes are Mzolisi's. I have Seipati and Duelo's DNA, and that scares the hell out of me.